Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bagman Podcast. I believe we're on episode 17. Stock's not here to correct me today. We have a guest host and a returning Trojan, now Mustang, and Mr. Kross. So we're just going to run down the deal here. We had a band, choir, art, festivities festival on Friday. The Fine Arts Festival was this Friday. Had a bunch of D'Arlier artists that were recognized. A bunch of kids from the art department got to put their stuff out and be recognized. People walked through there. Band concert started at 7 o'clock. We had the middle school band play, which is the 7th and 8th grade band. We had the 6th grade band play. We had the high school band play. Then the high school band mixed with the middle school band, and they played a piece. And then the high school choir got out there and kind of finished off the concert. It's kind of nice to hear a full choir. We have a bunch of guys now, and it's kind of nice to hear a big balanced sound. We haven't had that for several years. Other than that, anything going on in your world, Mr. Haig, that you'd like to tell us about that happened in the last week or so?
Man, I was not prepared to be the second person to talk on this.
Yes. Hey, by the way, Mr. Haig guest hosting today. Stock is getting ready for baseball. I'm assuming he has to get walk-up music ready.
Oh yeah.
And that was a problem a couple weeks ago, but I think he's got it figured out now. If you guys didn't know, Stock does the public address announcing out of the baseball games. He also does prom and all that kind of stuff that you probably knew about. But he is the voice of the Trojan baseball team. Paxton Rudisell is the voice of the girls softball team. So if you're ever out at the complex and you hear one of those two voices, that's who it is. So there's a baseball game tonight. Not really sure who we're playing. I'm assuming conference because it's that kind of time in the year. I know the girls had
West Vigo.
7 or 8 games left.
Girls have West Vigo.
Girls have West Vigo.
Tonight at West Vigo.
At West Vigo, that's a fun trip.
Yeah,
that is you've made that drive.
Too many times.
Yes, that is not a fun haul.
Yeah.
I think that's about all we need to rehash as we get ready for the end of the school year. Stock's not here, so we can't talk about graduation. As far as the graduation video, that is being created in my room. Tyra and Ben are working on that, and I think it's about done. So that should be posted to YouTube soon. That'll be in the program, and then we'll show it at the actual ceremony itself. So thanks for joining us today. Like I said, we've got Mr. Haig over here. He's in the guest host spot. So dynamite drop-ins. Yeah. And then we've got, welcome you back, Mr. Kross. Your little subtitle name is TR8R.
Nice.
A little Star Wars reference, and because you're a traitor. So it's the double whammy, as we like to call. But welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome back again. You're in my room last week.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing like coming back to ask for some help on some stuff.
Yeah, here we are. So this is our group today. We're going to run down through these things, and we've got some cool stuff to talk about. Then we'll, get out of here a reasonable hour and go to my recliner and take a nap. That's on the ticket today. Actually, I'll probably go watch baseball.
The dream.
The dream, yes.
The American dream.
That's right. I have to mail some stuff off for internship stuff, and then maybe go watch some baseball and spend most of my life savings buying stamps because those Freedom Forever stamps ain't cheap. All right. So let's jump into it. First topic we've got up. We're all big fans, and Mr. Haig, you'll have a lot of insight on this, and Mr. Kross, you'll be able to jump in on this as well. D&D. We have a D&D club here at Covington now. You've got a younger group and then an older group, not necessarily based on experience, right, but you've got a younger group and an older group. And Mr. Kross, we got to sit in on the older group the other day, and I think we can agree it was a fun time for everybody.
Oh, it was a blast.
And Mr. Haig DMs for them, and he does a great job. And it was a really, really fun time. So, Mr. Haig, if you could, enlighten us on what's going on with that and what the kids are doing and campaign-wise, what that actually entails, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. We had a call out for D&D at both of us sometime around the beginning of the semester.
It was a while ago, yeah.
Had roughly 15 people come out for the call out, which we were really excited to see. We didn't know if we'd get 3 people or if we'd get 20. We were very happy with 15. And we ended up breaking it up into about 3 different groups. There was going to be an experience group that played after school. about once a week, and then 2 lunchtime groups that would play one separately once a week during lunch. And unfortunately, due to some scheduling and just getting busy near the end of the school year, we haven't been able to play after school much, but we have been able to consistently play the lunch groups, and we have 2 different types of groups for that. We have a pretty much mostly sophomore, junior boys group that plays on Mondays. They love talking all things fantasy and kind of messing around and picking on each other, and
They get pretty competitive.
Yeah. Their goal in playing D&D is to not only make fun of each other in their real lives, but also have their characters make ridiculous, immature jokes towards each other.
Yeah.
And then we have a second group, which is made up primarily of seniors. I think it might be entirely seniors. I'm not sure on that. Which has actually 3 females and 2 males, which is something we were excited to see because I think it can be kind of stigma or so that it's weird for our girls don't play D&D.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some of the boys might have been nervous at first, and then honestly, the girls we have playing in the Friday group at lunch are probably some of the best role players that we have.
Yeah.
They really get into it. They're not afraid to. They have no idea what's going on.
No.
They don't know. They
No,
don't
but
understand.
they're having fun.
They are. They don't understand the rules, nor do they care to try to understand the
Yeah.
rules. But they really get into character, and they make it fun for everybody else.
They roll the die when you tell them to roll the die.
They do.
Yeah.
They wait. They roll the dice and do the voices. And there's nothing more fun for a whole group of D&D players than people that do accents and voices
Yes.
consistently.
And just some of the scenarios they got you into were pretty great.
No matter how bad the accents are, just gotta stick with it.
At least you're trying.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So I know that Seeger has kind of like an RPG kind of gaming group as well. Mr. Kross, is there anything like that at Fountain Central, or is that been talked about, or do you guys have any different clubs that we don't have here that might be interesting?
I've had a couple preliminary discussions with people, but no, we don't have any set up and ready to go.
Okay. Do you guys have any different clubs over there that we don't have here?
Um,
I'm assuming anything to deal with swimming.
Yeah, we've got a really big swim club over there. Pretty big swim team as well. One of the bigger things that I didn't know before I went over there was they're really big into tennis.
Oh, yeah.
So like the girls' tennis team, pretty sizable tennis team.
Okay.
The guys,
Is
pretty
Chris
good.
Webb still coaching that?
Yeah,
What a legend.
him and Mr. Kite. Yeah,
What a legend.
yeah.
So-
So tennis, a lot bigger deal than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Even have like teachers who will sit there and watch like the
Oh yeah,
The
they get a
opens-
nice crew there.
yeah,
they're in the
they'll sit there
bleachers.
and watch the open like professionals on lunch at times. And
That's
stuff, and
awesome.
I'm like,
That's pretty cool when you can get people out and watch stuff like that.
yeah.
Do you notice there's a different in like investment from teachers, like going out to events, or is it similar?
I would say it's similar, but kind of dependent on the sport and kind of who all's
That's fair. Who has
coming
kids
out.
in it?
Yeah. Like obviously Chris Webb's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's got kids doing everything. I myself, being a former Trojan
Yeah.
and now current Mustang, I've tried to make it to just about every
Yeah.
Fountain Central versus Covington.
That's where we
match
catch up
this
a
year.
lot.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where we've kept touch and kept base.
Yeah.
at.
Absolutely. That and Maryland's Village.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a common thread in the community. So, Mr. Haig, I'll put you on the spot here. What's the intention for next year, do you think? So you've got that young group. Does that turn into the older group, or do they keep doing their own campaign or doing their own thing, or have you thought about that yet?
I have not really thought a whole lot about it.
Okay.
Just on the spot, if I had to say anything, I would guess that we'd probably try to do something similar next year, 1 or 2 groups. I think some things would need to change. As much fun as I'm having this year, just when things get busy and
It's too busy at the
it
end of
can,
the year.
it can be hard. And
Yeah.
they're really one spot. Everybody gets their lunch tray and gets upstairs and eats their food. We really have about 10 minutes of free
Yeah.
time to play. And so, I mean, as tough as it can be to get a group together after school with me coaching and some of them playing sports, I don't know, I'm just looking for suggestions and hoping we can figure something out next year. I think they're enjoying it. I think they enjoy playing it again next year.
Yeah.
Just going to be hard to find.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you can find somebody to DM,
Yeah.
then they can kind of do it on their own. Like they could do that in like a 5th hour.
Yeah. I'd like to, hopefully they got enough of an interest in it this year from what we've done that they just go do it themselves.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to do it for them, but it'll be easier for them if they don't need to wait on me to be free or
absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's what your advanced group has ended up doing. Talked to one of the moms. She said, hey, we set them up with a spot down, I don't want to say where, but they set them up with a spot and they just go all night, have like a big D&D campaign and kind of enjoy each other's company. Good. That's kind of some of the, like a structured place and activity that you can kind of all get around and just have fun. Clean fun.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last time I was on the podcast. It doesn't really matter if you're playing D&D or you're playing Xbox or on the computer. If you guys are watching the NBA, the NFL, you're playing ping pong, pool, whatever it is. If something just gets a group of people together, you almost never you get together to play that game or to watch that sport, and next thing you know, 3 hours has passed and you guys have barely even played the game or been paying attention to the TV.
Absolutely.
I think D&D is just another one of those things where it gets groups of guys together and gives them common interest to play a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, but for the most part, just out socializing and kind of making friends, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Not to be too corny, but
no, I think it's valid, completely valid. What's your poison there, Mr. Kross? Probably football, I'm assuming. You're a football guy.
My go-to like community builder has always been fantasy football.
Yep. Okay.
Used to do it with my dad and our church buddies when I was a kid, and about 5 years ago, had a friend of mine from childhood reach back out to me and say, "Hey, I'm putting together a dynasty fantasy football.
Oh, how cool is that?
Basically, you draft and then you manage a team, literally like just about like you would in real life. You've got a rookie draft every year.
Sure.
And so we actually were in the middle of our rookie draft as we speak. But we're 5 years in now with the same 12 people that
That's
started
pretty fun.
it. So it's a blast.
That's a cool experience.
I would love to get into a dynasty. I've just recently got into fantasy football, and dynasty would be cool. But I would like to do it with people I know.
Yeah.
Like in person, just so the competitiveness, the trash talk doesn't mean much to me if there's no face to the person that I'm
it's completely
dominating.
different texting an emoji to somebody to instead of bragging in person constantly.
And that's the thing that's kind of hard. Like one thing that I'm not a super big fan of right now is our league. There's no time on the draft. So normally you would have like a 5-minute to maybe 15-minute window to make a pick, make trades, all that. There's no time limit on ours, so we're on day 3 now of our draft, and
that's a marathon.
It's a 5-round.
That's a slog.
It takes it out of you, especially when I'm the one that's punted the last several years. So I ended up with like 8 or 9 of the top 24 picks, and so I've been sitting there just waiting. And once I'm on the clock, I'm basically selected. But I think you're right. Anything that brings people together, gets people doing things together and out of the house or even still in the house, but where you're communicating.
I think fantasy football is a really good example too of. I got into it because a group of friends / family just needed one more person to get a full league. And we ended up watching a bunch of football on Sundays, and I was watching teams that I never would have given a crap about,
or players that
you don't care about. So now all of a sudden, I'm just excited to see I don't think I've ever been excited to see the Redskins win anything in my life. But if you just have one of their players, the Commanders. Washington Commanders.
Yeah, you better watch it.
Did not mean to.
You're going to get us canceled.
Yeah. Well, did you hear about the whole?
That was close.
Edit that out.
That was close.
You hear about the whole petition that's gone around to change it back?
I have heard a little bit. I don't know the facts on it though, so I won't.
Bring it back.
I don't know. I don't know many of the facts, but I did find it very interesting that from what I've heard and what I've seen, there actually is some like Native American backers of the petition. So that was really interesting.
Are you sure it's not just people from the Potawatomi Parade Festival in Attica that really wanted it back? I mean, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. I will say, speaking of that, They're still the Indianapolis Indians as of right now. Have you seen their Indianapolis 500 uniforms for this year?
No.
Oh, they're sharp. They're like the old school. So they're all white, and then they have like the stripe down with like the circle and the number on the front of the jersey.
Yeah.
They are sharp. If you get a chance to look at them, they're fantastic. But
real quick segue and slight tangent.
Well, it's going to lead me into a rant because
Probably.
No, I got one.
Jersey wise, have you seen this team that is playing the first Cosmic baseball game?
I have not.
They have neon colored jerseys.
Oh,
There's
that's tragic.
I want to say it's the Chili Peppers is the team name.
Okay.
But they have neon.
They're red hot.
They have neon colored jerseys that then they've replaced all the lights in the stadium with black lights.
Oh,
and
my
they're
goodness.
sitting there doing like a neon baseball game.
That sounds seizure inducing.
It looks so wild.
Oh my gosh. It's like cosmic bowling,
Oh yeah,
but baseball.
but with baseball.
That's
With
tragic.
baseballs being thrown at
That's
80,
tragic.
90 miles an hour.
People in Major League Baseball are having enough trouble with the Nike jerseys,
Oh, yeah.
let alone neon Nike jerseys. Oh, that's wild. This leads me into my rant. I just came up with this as these guys were talking about fantasy football. I've been eligible for 20 years and have never been drafted by either of you guys. So put me on the board. And
As in, you want to play?
no, I'm in the league. In my mind, go ahead and get me drafted up. I'll earn you some points.
Speaking of drafting, 2 people have been selected while we've been
Yeah.
talking.
Anybody good?
Not really. We're down.
So it was me. Somebody drafted me.
We're into the 3rd round. It was Bucky Irving and Braylon Allen. We're just
Okay.
kicking
Okay,
off the
so
clock.
let me ask you this then, Craig.
Yes.
You, Mr. Sowers, I'm so sorry.
No, either one. We're on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're in school, but it's
You
after
have-
hours.
You have 4 downs
Yes.
to gain 1 yard in the NFL.
Yes.
Mister, I could score you a point.
Yes.
Do you think you get
Multiple.
1 yard and at least? Do you think you get at least 1 yard and 4 downs?
Dude, I will accumulate
Does
so
it-
many yards. They didn't have to be positive.
I was about to say, is it
Positive
true
yards.
rules where if you get negative yards, it goes back
Yeah.
2-3 yards?
Do you think
See?
you could score a positive point?
Oh man.
net, net positive.
Oh, as like a fullback?
No, I mean, yeah. So you just go up there like, all right, you get the ball 4 times. Good luck.
Oh, easily.
Okay.
I think I could be a viable enough distraction.
Easily.
I can tell.
If
to act
someone
like I'm running in.
if someone we got to pull a trick play somehow, but yeah, I'm getting you that yard. We got Statue of Liberty, something. Somebody gets on all fours and barks.
hide the person.
Yeah, exactly. If you'll remember a Steven Lewandowski and a Dusty Hughes, they always drew up a play for soccer called circle, circle, dot, dot, where they would stand in the middle with the ball and then have the rest of the team surround them as a circle. And they would move down the field as one unit.
Flying V style.
Yes, flying exactly like Mighty Ducks, flying V style. They called it circle, circle, dot, dot. Thank God we never ran it. But that was always a thought. And I think I could score a point that way. I think I'd get you your yard.
I don't know if either of you
You're getting all
watched
kinds of points.
Ted Lasso on Apple Plus, but there's actually an episode in there where Ted Lasso is a former college football coach, now coaching a Premier League soccer team,
Oh, he's
And-
Wrexham.
basically. And during one of the games, the soccer team comes out and basically runs an American football play
I love
to
it.
score a goal.
I love
at,
it.
like the last second.
And they got that yard. And they got
They
you
got the
points.
yard.
Isn't it called somebody's toboggan or something like that?
Was it Loki's Toboggan?
Loki's toboggan.
Yeah, there were so many great ones.
Yeah, that's a great show. Yeah, I
Oh,
have.
you guys.
Anybody that has not watched Ted Lasso, I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
I know some people aren't big on Apple,
That's he's talking about me.
but
You're talking about me.
subscribe, watch the show, and unsubscribe. Doesn't matter.
Is there a free trial?
Probably.
Don't know.
There's got to be.
You think?
Really?
Every other
It's Apple,
streaming
though.
program's got one.
So have you guys been you watching this Arrowhead Studios, PlayStation Network, Steam thing? We'll talk about it later. If you
Oh,
haven't.
is this with the
No.
Helldivers?
Yes.
Okay,
Did
yeah.
you see they finally caved?
And took off.
You don't have to have a PSN account anymore.
What were
That
they-
happened during the school day today.
What were they thinking in the first place?
Dude, I have no idea.
I
It's
definitely
wild.
missed that one.
Okay, so they released the game. The game's going great. It's being
Yeah.
sold on PSN. It's being sold on Steam. Steam
Yeah.
is breaking records, right?
Talking Helldivers
That
too, right?
yes,
Yeah.
that and Pal World are breaking records. Pal World is awesome, by the way. Crazy amount of people playing it. You know, you can play with your friends online. You can jump in with other people, and it's like this huge campaign. Was last night or yesterday, PlayStation decided that they were going to make you have a PSN account.
Yeah, I think maybe like Friday it was.
It was over the weekend.
A few days ago. Yeah.
Over the weekend, decided you were going to have a PSN account in order to play it. So basically, they were going to have to strip it off of Steam. A bunch of people went to Steam and said, "Hey, I'm over the 100-hour limit that you can be refunded for something like this.
Yeah.
So what can we do for a refund?" Steam started issuing refunds. And then this morning, because of pressure from the player base and the community, Sony basically caved and said, you don't have to have a PSN account for this anymore.
Well, so the thing I've seen
That's
with
crazy.
Helldivers, I don't have a PlayStation, so that's
Yeah.
where I run into
You're in a
the
better place.
issue with it.
Yeah.
Is I'm either on PC
Yes.
or playing on Xbox. And that's the thing that I've seen with it is all the Xbox players that like saying, "Hey, we'll help with the campaign."
Seriously.
All your Halo players just all of a sudden dropping in and going after the bugs and the automatons, like,
which is what they've done their entire life. You
right?
know, just another day in paradise.
But PlayStation has held their ground on that in terms of not letting the Xbox players on yet.
And that was the whole deal with Steam. Steam was huge in promoting this game and selling for this game and kind of getting this game off the ground. And I don't understand the decision-making process, I guess, from big companies.
Because even if you're greedy and you just really want to make money,
the amount of money from the royalties.
Yeah, you're not.
So I'll give you an anecdote from school today. Oliver was really excited. Mm-hmm. Oliver, our guest last week, Oliver Wilderman, he was really excited because he really likes playing this game. He plays on a Steam Deck. He plays on his computer. And he was pretty upset when he came in this morning. Then they announced that, we were going to have a PSN account. And to which I said, you realize it's all just a money grab? And now you're going to get microtransaction to death. Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to need their money. They're going to try to recoup money because they're promoting this game. They're putting out ads because there are TV ads and stuff for this game now, and they're promoting it all over social media. They're going to want their money back, so they're going to go the microtransaction way, and these are going to be paid campaigns now. So, it's kind of pick your poison. Do you want to play it on Steam and that platform, or do you want to have to go buy a PS5 and invest, life savings into a PS5? So. Interesting. So, that could be a rant. Do you guys have any rants today? Stock's usually my rant guy.
I actually only came on to listen to Stock rant. I was not aware that he wasn't going to be here.
Sorry to disappoint.
So I'm just kind of, just waiting.
Biding time.
I'll do my best. But
it's typically a McDonald's-based rant. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have any problems.
I can go in on
here we go. Here we go. Let's see, who is... Dylan Connor, former Covington student, is Employee of the Month.
All right,
saw that, and they always put some of our kids up on the wall for Athlete of the Month and Student of the Month. So that's kind of cool. Do you have? Are you as mad at the lids as Stock is?
Oh, I'm not mad about the lids. I'm mad about the dang price of the drink, man.
The price, and it's different whatever McDonald's you go to, because the one in Attica is cheaper than the one here.
Yeah.
In most things.
If you get anywhere close to Indianapolis, it's like 70 cents cheaper.
Yes. And I don't think that's McDonald's exclusive either, because when I get my rodeo burger at Burger King, have you guys had that? It's amazing.
Have not yet.
It's a hamburger. I'm going to explain it to you. Guys, this has got to go to me. It's a hamburger, but here's the twist. Barbecue sauce and an onion ring on every one. It's as good as it sounds. Yeah. So if you're in Illinois, that's a $3 hamburger. If you're in Indiana, that's a $1.89 hamburger. So how does that make sense? Well, a failing state versus non-failing state. It is what it is. But yes, expensive. And I saw a YouTube short. I was telling these guys before the show. I saw a YouTube short where an apple was $7 in California. And they're grown 2 states away. So there's no reason for that. Like there's no transportation fee or anything like that. It's just increasing prices and inflation.
Oh, I don't even call it inflation anymore. It's straight up greed.
It's robbery.
Like
it's theft.
Especially for those of you who don't know, I'm an MBA, have my background heavily in business and everything. And especially when you know and you start to look at the breakdowns of like the costs of what they're selling.
Yeah.
Like they're buying the stuff to make these sodas for like 10 cents and then turning around and selling it for like $1.79.
I will say the coconut Dr. Pepper is very good. It's $1
know
at
about
Casey's
that
if you have the app.
I'm not sure there's a single thing we could bring up today that, like, problem wise, that we couldn't just take back down to greed. Think about Helldivers we just talked about on Steam and PlayStation. Greed.
Yeah.
McDonald's, greed. Apples in California, greed. Local grapefruits, greed. Stockbarger and I were just complaining about this at lunch the other day. I've been on a huge grapefruit kick.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know I sound like a 70-year-old man here. But every year I buy these grapefruits. Grapefruit?
What, do they travel in a pack?
Yeah, just a pack
It's grapefruit. A herd of grapefruit.
Every time I buy a herd of grapefruit,
Is it fish or fishes?
the
Fishes.
price of the pack goes up and the size of the grapefruit gets smaller.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's just, and I don't know if you have a general idea of what a grapefruit looks like on the inside, similar to an orange. Now, even when you cut into them, it's like half skin, half rind.
More pith.
And there's just a little bit of fruit in the middle.
Yeah.
And
That's frustrating.
it's like, what?
How do you eat your grapefruit? Are you a cut in
you a
half and then
slicer?
section guy?
No, I actually just take it into the shower with me and I go carnal.
Do you just squeeze it in
Yeah.
your mouth?
Fully clothed, lights off, and I just smash it into my face.
I like that.
I plenty of canker sores from it, but it is, I tell you what, it is a freeing experience.
Yeah, you want a little acid in your morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really.
I will say, going back to your Burger King kick.
Yes.
here,
Rodeo Burger. Try it.
I saw a very interesting ad by them, and I think it might be an old ad at this point, but I just saw it today.
Okay.
They took one of their Whoppers
Okay.
and put it on a pedestal, and
As I do.
and just let it sit there and recorded it for like 48 hours or a week. I don't remember what the actual timeline on it was. But you watch this thing all of a sudden go from like a fresh hamburger to just like covered in mold and rot and all that. And
I get it.
Their big stance on it was, we don't have preservatives in our stuff.
Because there's that guy that put the
McDonald's
Big Mac,
that's like 24 years old.
And it's never
still
aged.
looks
Yeah.
the same.
Well, it's how you can find fries in your car seats,
Yeah.
Years and years later. That's crazy. I always liked the Mountain Dew experiment too, where they put the rat in the Mountain Dew and watched it dissolve. That's how acidic it is. That's for all you Mountain Dew lovers out there. Enjoy it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a human, not a rat. I hope.
You regenerate the cells.
You do, yeah, exactly. So my grapefruit eating method, I want to tell you guys this.
Yeah.
Cut it in half.
Okay.
You take like a paring knife and you section the little section, a little bit of sugar on top.
Okay.
And then you can just fork it and enjoy it.
Have you ever
No shower necessary.
Have you ever had a brulee citrus?
I don't know what that word means.
So you take it, you cut it in half, kind of like you're talking.
Stock's my French word guy.
But where you have
I
like
kind of feel like we're dandling now. All right. Let's just eat the fruit, all right?
where you have the little triangle sections
Yeah,
facing up.
sure.
Sprinkle a little bit of sugar on it, like you're
Okay.
saying, but then take a blowtorch and torch the sugar to caramelize it.
Okay.
And it gets like this little crispy crust over the top of it, and all of a sudden you take it out and you get your sweet, your savory.
I'm
your
concerned
crispy.
you have a blowtorch handy.
No, like the little cooking. They literally call them like brulee for creme brulees.
Hey, if you say so. I don't eat fancy foods, man. I'm a grilled cheese guy. That's as fancy as I get. You have to flip that.
You and Uncle Danny make
Exactly. Exactly.
Show me somebody that doesn't like grilled cheese.
It's
and
a
I'll show you
grilled
why.
cheese, Danny.
That was
Who doesn't
That's
like
a Shane Gillis. Yeah.
Deep
Shout
cut.
out to Shane Gillis.
Shout out to the big dog.
Yeah, that's right. He gets his own show. He's got his own
tires.
show.
Yeah,
tonight.
let's-
Yeah.
he's the inspiration for all of us.
Hey,
on the
honestly,
fringe.
do you think he's the catalyst for Saturday Night Live becoming funny again? Because since his episode, it has been better. Like they did the Beavis and Butthead stuff.
Oh my
They did-
gosh, that one was. I
It's
was
so
dying.
good.
Which Beavis and Butthead skit reminds me. Ryan Gosling, comedic
Yeah.
timing.
Oh
Holy
my
crap.
gosh.
Impeccable.
So good. I mean, you look at him, you go, oh, he's just a pretty man.
Yeah.
But no, his
Dreamy.
his
even.
comedic timing kills me in interviews and movies and SNL. he just
I would have
yeah.
broken the first time they panned to me in that
Yeah.
skit. It's
Yeah.
so good.
So
Oh,
good.
the
Was
gal,
it Cecily Strong?
Cecily,
yeah.
who just she snaps immediately.
Oh my gosh,
It's
there's
the
no
funniest
way.
part.
There's no way I could deal with that.
But no, have you seen the outro, or not the outros, the bloopers from the Barbie movie with Ryan Gosling? Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. So there's a scene where Ken has taken over Barbie's house or whatever, and she's like negotiating to get her house back. And she says something about either like going on a date with him or being exclusive, something like that. And he goes, "All right, give me a minute." And he goes just around the corner, and he in the movie he just yells out "Sublime" is what he yells out. But in the bloopers, he yells out some of the most random stuff. And one of them, he starts, he does, is it Gwen Stefani? That's the "My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard" or whatever.
That's Kellis.
It's who?
Kellis. Am I right? I'm gonna have to look this up. I'm
Yeah, I was
responding to
like-
chat right now. Sorry,
But
I'm not even in the conversation.
So he shouts out, "Her milkshake brings this boy to the yard," and Margot Robbie just loses it. She's dying laughing, and it's just this random line that he pulled out of nowhere.
I always like the when they surprise her because she's a big metal fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When they surprise her with like messages from Slipknot and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I thought those are cool. Any more rants, guys, before we head to traders?
I mean, I'm sure we could.
I mean, I could rant about almost anything.
I've gotten most of my rants out in class. So I haven't done it this week, but I did give the apathy and being involved rant before the Fine Arts Festival.
Oh yeah.
Hey, if you want a bigger band, be part of the band. If you want a bigger choir, be part of the choir. We went back, and I don't know if this was when you were still here or not, but it used to be pretty commonplace that, if you're a basketball player, football player, whatever, you could still be in band and still perform in band. Like, we had kids that would, instead of going to the locker room for football, they'd come out to the halftime show and play, pads and everything. And that's not really a thing anymore, and I don't know if you guys even allow that over there.
I had a couple 2 years ago when I was here who were in
Yeah.
the band.
Yeah. And that used to be more commonplace.
Mm.
And it was just every walk of life could be involved, and everybody would get invested in something outside of themselves. But, it kind of doesn't exist right now. And maybe we get back to that place.
I don't see us getting back to it without, it's just too easy to socialize. I mean, we could rant about social media and the negatives effect, but let's even just say, let's assume that social media is a positive thing.
It's a big assumption.
Yeah. For the
bold
sake of this
strategy.
argument,
Okay.
let's
Yes. Net positive.
Yeah.
Net positive.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say, okay, social media is cool. That's fine. All right. Until that's gone, though, and it's just that kids can hang out with each other at home from their own homes on computers, on TVs, or just talk to each other on their phones. Like, there's not that, back when we were in school, which was not that long ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to get into it, back in my day, phones still weren't huge. Games were getting more and more popular, but when you had nothing going on during a season, you thought, oh crap, what are all my friends going to be doing? Well, one of them's going to be playing baseball, and the other one's going to be playing track. So what do I do with baseball or do I do track? Just because you wanted to hang out with your buddies or make new buddies. And it was just really boring to just not do anything during a season. And I think most people felt that way. And so they'd either do band, they'd either do basketball, they'd do wrestling, dance, cheer, anything's in the winter. And then you move to your spring sports, fall sports. I don't know. I don't see the participation in sports and other activities going back up. I wish they would. I mean, individually, you can have coaches that'll try to motivate and get people to come out, but I just don't think we're going to get those high percentages of people participating.
Because there's too much stuff to fill that gap.
It's just too much. And that's great. Let's go back to D&D Club. I love D&D Club, but you present that as one more thing to do. And maybe now the kid that goes, hey, I was going to go to, I was going to play soccer because I had nothing going on, but now maybe I can just play D&D with my friends. Cool. Why would I play soccer? That's great. But, the more you offer, which is great, the more opportunities they have to hang out with their friends online and not in person. You stop, people stop participating. It's not even a negative thing. I just don't know what you do.
No.
I think it's great that people can hang out and socialize with each other so readily. But I just don't know what you do as far as if you're wanting people to participate in school activities, what you can change. And that's even just from a positive kind of viewpoint
Sure.
of the whole thing.
Well, and even with that, you're talking like specifically one of the things I ran into head coaching over here, and I know Justin's run into and stuff like that too, has been just having two dominant sports going at the same time. So it's like we had football going and soccer's going at the exact same time, and there are only very rare situations where you could intermingle and have the opportunity to share players and stuff like that anymore.
Sure.
And that in and of itself is a killer. Is just like, I mean, I see that over at FC.
Boys tennis is
tennis
It also take players.
We've got players playing tennis who are fantastic tennis players, but you sit there and you look at them and it's like you'd make a heck of a football player.
Yeah, and that's the thing with being a school of 300 and some kids, where only half of those are boys. So you're looking at your high class, very talented athletes can only do a sport to a sport and a half, depending on the season and how much time they have, and we're not even talking about the kids that have to work.
Yeah.
Because there's a big proponent of kids that have after school they're working. I've got several kids in the internship program right now who are putting in 30 to 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Working on top of school, on top of homework and all that kind of stuff. So
and then you throw in like 4-H.
Yeah.
Or like we over at Fountain Central, we'll have lifts all during 4-H during third week, but we won't actually practice because we've got
you just can't.
More than half of our kids are at the fair.
Actively involved though. Yeah, they're involved in something. Involved. So you don't mind that as much, but it's hurting you in the long run. But it's something you kind of have to deal with to a certain extent. And I know you guys, we'll talk about the cell phone. I want to talk with Mr. Haig about this because you guys have already kind of banned the cell phones. And so what do you think we're going to look like next year, Mr. Haig? So the state has passed a policy that says that we have to make certain concessions in our student handbook as it deals with the cell phone policy. You can't have that out in class, basically. Unless of certain situations, and then there are repercussions that you have to set forth for that, but there are exemptions for certain kids in certain situations. We already kind of have that in our handbook, and it hasn't been really hardcore reinforced to this point. So what do you think that's going to look like next year? Or what do you hope it's going to look more like next year?
I think productivity would go way up if phones were just not a thing in school. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I think there are certain apps or websites you can go to that are conducive with learning, but generally speaking, they're just distractions. My concern is I've seen what some of the kids, not all the kids, what they look like or what they act like when their phones are taken away from them or they're not allowed. I mean, the best comparison I can give is someone having withdrawals from alcohol or drugs. They're literally shaking. There is they're fiending for the technology. I mean, even myself, sometimes I'll go somewhere and I'll find myself just kind of like reaching out to make sure it's still there, or maybe I'll just check real quick and I kind of tell myself, oh, I'm just checking the time, but maybe I'm also kind of like, oh, is anybody? You're with a group of friends. What do you care what's going on in the phone?
Draft notifications.
Yeah, you just it's tough. You get used to looking at your phone all day, every day, and we're going to take that away from them, which I think is a good decision. I just expect a lot of mental and social, negative mental and social feedback. Just whether it's from parents, whether it's from students themselves, whether we find the students wanting to move to other schools that don't have similar rules. I think it's going to be hard for them. And I feel for them because they're, it's an addiction for some of them. It really is, and I do feel bad, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to enforce. I think it's important that we do enforce it school-wide if we're going to do it, and I'm all on board if we are. I really look forward, or not look forward. I'm interested to see the blowback.
Yeah, I think more anger to begin with, probably, and once it settles in, because we're getting rid of backpacks in the classroom as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of change to deal with as kids start the next school year. You guys are already on that.
We are.
So what's that look like for you guys?
And on in. to what you were saying, it was very similar because we did it first semester. It was the same sort of deal, no cell phone policy, but you would have teachers, and I'm even guilty of this. Was some of them was just put it in your pocket. I just don't want to see it,
Right.
like stuff like that.
So you guys are like, keep it in your locker or keep it at home?
But now so that was first semester. Now second semester we have been full on. If we see it out in the classroom, we as teachers confiscate it first time. No.
Okay, no warning.
At least that's what we're supposed to do.
Sure.
You'll always have some that don't necessarily do that. But we confiscate it the first time, goes to the office, and I think they're in a Friday school for the first one. And then from there, if it happens a second time, I believe it's an ISS. And then if it happens a third time, they end up getting on a contract where they
Oh, wow.
they have to bring their cell phone to the front office before the bell ever even rings at the beginning of the day, and it's basically in phone jail all day.
I like that.
And you definitely have some of your kids that get that way in terms of like the twitching,
Oh, sure.
like you said, it's an addiction, and they're having withdrawals. For the most part, though, I would say what's been interesting is seeing the kids' workarounds. Because it's like now they don't have
Pinterest.
Well, no, now they don't
That
have
was one of
social
them.
media.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the amount of kids I've got emailing each other back and forth has gone up like 200%.
Right. Just make sure it's formal
Oh,
and it's educational.
like no, it's just
Yeah.
a straight up chat thread.
Oh, I love it.
So like that's something you see a lot of, or the same thing where you had the issue of them being on their phone and not paying attention. Now they're not on their phone, but they're still not paying attention, and now they're just actively distracting others, just straight up having
So
conversations.
you guys are 1-to-1
Yes.
Chromebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you find that's kind of supplanted the phone a little bit.
Basically,
Yeah.
It's either generally you got kids doing one of three, maybe four things. It's either they're actually actively listening and paying attention, which is the minority by
Sure.
far. And then you have the apathetic few who are kind of half listening, but they're also looking up the newest Jordans on Nike,
Yeah.
or checking some sort of Yahoo News, something like that. Then you have the ones who are just playing video games, which
Sure.
you guys already have that. I mean, I experienced that with our kids 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But then now, even more so, I would say I went from having maybe one of these kids every class period to maybe 2 or 3. You get the kids who literally just come in, sit down, and do nothing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Get a little fuzz.
Yeah, which one is it?
I don't know.
Is it me?
It's got to be one of these. It's got to be one in the middle. We dealt with this last week too. I'll just have Oliver sort it. That seems to be the easiest way to deal with things anymore. It's nice having kids that can do things for you. All right. Let's pose this as I'm on camera. Hey, everybody. What do you think are the most major differences you noticed moving from, was it Belzer to Covington, and then Covington to Fountain Central? Because you've been to a couple schools and you've seen different atmospheres and environments. What are kind of the big takeaways from that? The big differences from these different schools you've been to?
So Belzer was an animal in and of itself. For those of you who don't know, Belzer Middle School is part of Lawrence Township, which is one of the largest school districts in the state. I think it's only behind IPS and maybe the Hamilton Township schools.
That one's huge too.
We at the middle school, Belzer feeds into Lawrence Central High School, which I believe last I checked was like 2,300 kids in the high school.
Yeah. One Mike Connolly and Greg Oden went to.
Yeah.
Yes. We had 1,500 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in the building.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's
and
insane.
so it was literally the Wild West.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I mean, I hate to say this one, like it would not have shocked me if we did the locker checks and stuff and found multiple firearms.
Oh,
I
sure.
know we had one that while I was there was turned in and everything, but it ended up being traced
man.
to gang related activities.
Oh, sure.
That was definitely a very different culture
Yeah.
than coming out here to Covington and then to Fountain Central. But I'd say the biggest difference that I'd noticed, and I think honestly the kids that I taught here in at Fountain Central have noticed, is they do things that they think is like wild and out there, or say things,
Right.
and I'm like, that wouldn't even make top 10 on my worst
Right.
day.
They
Some
call
of the
it,
things that I heard these middle schoolers
out
say.
of pocket.
Oh yeah, out of
Yes,
pocket.
Yes.
Yeah. But so, like my seniors, even last year, I had some who would push and who would say things that were a little out of pocket. And I say little because again, I've taught
Yeah.
at Belzer.
Once you're in a different
where-
environment, yeah.
Where as a teacher,
Yeah.
like legitimately on multiple occasions, I was MF'd up one side and down the other by a student
sure.
in class, and then had that student back in the class the next day.
Hey, welcome back.
Like, so when they said some of the things they said, I'm like, and
Yeah. Is
Like,
that all? Yeah.
is that all? And so that was probably one of the biggest differences, and one that I'm sure my kids saw, because we had teachers here and at Fountain Central who, if somebody says just something slightly off kilter, they're out of the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
To the ISS room.
Yeah.
But I'd say sort of the biggest difference for me between Covington and Fountain Central that I've seen specifically in the students is,
Yeah, this is wild because there's only 6 miles between the schools.
yeah, they're only 6 miles, but the
Yeah.
two schools are very different.
It's wild, yeah.
And please understand, I'm not going to say any of this from a negative.
Spit it out. Let's go.
perspective.
Okay. We're right here.
But,
Spit it
like,
out.
I'm going to
This
tell
is
you
it.
right now, I have far less kids who care about their shoes over at Fountain
Oh,
Central than over here at Covington, when I would have certain kids who would like duck walk in the hallway to keep from creasing their shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
If
If it's not New Balance, I don't care about it.
right. But so that was definitely different. And then Covington, from what I've been a part of and kind of seen, has had some like move-ins and stuff from the Danville area.
Yeah.
And I would say, from what I've learned about Danville City Schools and stuff like that, they tend to be more towards the Belzer side.
Yeah.
So for me, it's honestly like, if Belzer was the far extreme of like just craziness and
Sure.
all that, and Fountain Central is the far other direction on the pendulum, I'd probably put Covington kind of halfway in between the middle and where FC's at, in terms of just the behaviors and things.
Sure.
Nothing really extreme on either side. I will say the one thing that I have noticed more from Covington as opposed to Fountain Central is the prolific vape usage.
Yeah. Well, we don't have 2 ice cream places.
Well,
Gotta
yeah.
have something to do.
I'm not about to say that Fountain Central doesn't have that issue, 'cause we obviously do.
Yeah.
But just some of the statistics that I had heard while here, and then now not on the vape usage for the Covington students, is alarming.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. And it's kind of an epidemic. It's kind of reaching out everywhere right now.
Popcorn lung is a real thing.
Oh my
kids.
goodness, it's crazy. That and Ozempic face.
Oh
Have you seen Ozempic face? Oh my gosh. Have you seen that? Like the side by sides of people that have been using like the Ozempic,
Mhm.
Makes
and
them
like
look
sunken
yeah.
in, gaunt, yeah, kind of like Slenderman
Uh-huh.
or
Nice.
Thinner. Do you remember Thinner? You guys remember that?
I
The
think that was
Gypsy
before our
Curses.
time.
Oh my gosh, was that Stephen King? Somebody look that up. Wyatt, look that up. But a Gypsy
Was
curses
Woodrow
the
in
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, what's
a
up, Wyatt?
Gypsy
Oh,
curses the
geez.
guy and says Thinner, and then he becomes super thin. Which I mean sounds awesome, but he kind of withers away. But that's before you guys' time. Apparently, I'm gonna have to look up when that movie came out. He said they were actively trying to not get Game of the Year, and I said about Divers, and I said mission
Oh.
accomplished. Minesweeper should get Game of the Year every year. I don't know why it doesn't. Solitaire, according to my dad. Oh, before I forget, happy birthdays. Happy birthday to Amy Herzog. She wanted to show me her
Happy birthday, Amy.
present.
All right.
And happy birthday to Carol Sowers.
Hey, shout out
Yeah.
Carol Sowers,
Yeah.
also known as Mom.
Big day.
We won't use that
to
word on
Damon.
here. Yeah,
To
just-
Damon it is.
Yeah. She's not real fond of it, but gets the point across.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Hey, that takes us to the speed round, guys. Have you guys both answered? No, neither one of you have answered season 2 speed round, have you?
I think the
remember.
only
There's a couple new ones.
difference was the number 4.
Number 4. That is the
Maybe
most
number
important-
3.
That is the most important one. And, yeah, number 3. Okay, and then you can shill for your campaign if you'd like, for
Yeah.
Dad's campaign.
Geez. Do not vote for Todd Haig for county council. Whatever you do not vote for Todd Haig for county council. He doesn't deserve it. He's
You know,
an
it's
absolute wretch of a man.
I love
Yeah.
I love local elections.
Yeah.
Because you can literally just vote for somebody because they're a good person, and you can talk to them in person.
Yeah.
All right.
Like legitimately, if I go to Julie's Java in the morning and I want to vent on county,
Yeah.
I'm going straight to Todd Haig.
Well, you can also, you just see the board up and you see Haig and you're like, oh, that Mr. Haig gave me a C 3 years ago. I'm not voting for him. Doesn't even realize it's not the same person.
It's not the same Haig, different Haig.
Or, yeah.
Speaking of the board, I hear there's 2 spots on Covington's board
Yeah,
that are up
hey,
this year.
get out and get active, people. It's an unpaid position, as elected positions are. But
Should I announce a
do you want to run? You want to run? For,
Not much.
vote Mr.
announce
Cross.
the campaign to be?
It's a thankless position as well.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is 100% true.
Yeah.
They've had a couple rallies for the solar farm stuff
Yeah.
down at the courthouse, and I went to the first one just to see kind of what was going on. I hate being uninformed, and I had no idea what was going on. So I went down just to listen to people talk, and interesting information at the beginning, and then it kind of turned into a political grandstand. But
Those situations do tend to devolve.
they
into-
do, and it's fine. People are doing the vote for me thing, but it was informative. Do you want to announce your candidacy for Covington school board?
Just put the feelers out there. Just if you would vote, let me know. No, I'm not planning on running at all.
yeah. Text him directly at. Please do.
Are you tired of the school board? Do you want more of the same? Do you think the
Oh, I
football
can
team should get
promise.
new uniforms every year?
I can promise I would not be more of the same.
Michael Kross, 2024.
I think that's part of the reason why I'm not the football coach here anymore.
What color signs would you put out? Would
What
you do
color
Yeah,
signs?
would you do the red, white, and blue theme, or would you do the green?
Well, as a staunch Democrat, I imagine you go primarily blue.
You could just go like really simplistic and just put a cross on a sign,
I could
and people would think it's either a church
just put
or
the,
to vote for you.
Put what is it, St. George's?
Hey, there you
flag.
go.
The red.
We could
the
make
red
this happen.
Cross on the white background.
Yeah, vote for Cross. A vote for Cross is a vote for change. I like it. Have you guys really answered season 2 stuff? We'll end with this real quick.
I have
don't-
not
think
answered
so.
3.
I think
or
you
4.
have.
Yeah.
I don't think you have. Okay, so we'll do. Stock usually does this, guys. I'm
I can ask him if you
woefully
want.
unprepared.
Want me to practice?
Yes, as co-host, this is your co-host responsibility. 3 and 4, I don't think he's answered.
Little do you know, this is a tryout to take Stock's position.
You want
Right.
Me you want me to put some twist on these, or you want me to just read them as written?
That is up to you, bud. You're the co-host.
Speed round.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Oh, we're
No
going
time
the
to
full
think.
Clear
full
the throat and everything.
No time
Holy
to think.
moly!
Just get it out, short and
All right.
concise. I don't want to hear you talk for more than 30 seconds. All right.
Okay.
That's not what people are tuned in for.
Understood.
Okay. All right. Wyatt,
Perfect.
back me up here. Okay. Mr. Cross, what brought you to Covington today?
Craig did
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, come on over.
He reached out on Thursday after. Was it Thursday? I
It was Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, was here working on some podcasting stuff, and he said he needed somebody on Monday. So
Yeah,
I said,
come on in,
I'm available if you need.
Mr. Hay. You can answer that too because I asked you if you'd want to co-host sometime. And
Yeah.
you said anytime.
Anytime. I would love to co-host. I totally misunderstood today. I would have done a better stock impression early on, guys. I'm sorry. I would have gotten angrier before I walked in here.
That's fair.
I
There
would
we
have
go.
really hyped myself up.
Fired yourself up.
Would have watched Les Miserables before I came in.
I was. Hey,
Listen
do
to
you, want,
some Tina.
do you want to answer for him? How was the Tina show?
Tina show was great. I mean, nothing compares to nothing compares to Tina. Okay. But
Oh, that's great. That's a great
was a
impression.
fantastic-
I like
it was
it.
really nice hanging out with hold on.
Oh,
don't tell me.
I know.
Don't tell me. The former teacher here and
Not named Mr.
Joey and
Cross.
Marilyn.
yes, Mr. Holt. It was
Yes.
lovely to see Mr. Holt again. He also enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. What a lovely gift. Bon.
Wow.
Yeah.
You brought up both French words, you know.
Yeah.
Bien.
Okay. Question
Oh,
number,
look at this. What
question number
culture.
2. What does American pride mean to you?
What does American pride mean? to me?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness,
Oh my.
you made that so loaded.
You could make this question great again.
Oh my lord. All right, you said 30 seconds. Okay. American pride to me is understanding that while this country isn't perfect, that it wasn't founded to be perfect. That's why the framers put in checks and balances and things to actively encourage its citizens to participate in the democratic process and in the gubernatorial process to actually affect change and make change for the betterment of the country. So that's really what it is to me. I really could care less about the grandstanding, the left, right, center, so long as you're attempting to make this place a better place. That's
Sure.
really what I think American pride
And
should
now I'm
be.
going to filibuster for 3 hours.
Mhm.
We're
You're going to be a great candidate. Okay.
just going to take that clip and make a commercial out of it. Hi, I'm Mike Cross.
You're gonna have to click the thing that
Yeah.
says that it's not edited.
Ooh.
Are you tired?
Well, it's just going to be a voiceover. We'll be good. Are you tired?
Are you tired of balancing your own checks?
Welcome
Well,
to the Fountain County Swamp.
It's time to drain it.
Yes.
Again, I'm not
Love it.
running for any political office at this time.
I mean, by the end of this podcast, you are.
God only
All
knows.
right. Number 3. Has there been a person or event since you moved to Covington that impacted your life?
Since I moved to Covington, I would say probably the biggest impact since coming to Covington that has impacted my life is the transition from being a Covington teacher to being a Fountain Central teacher. That definitely was a big impact.
And
Yeah.
Maryland's Village.
I do.
And Maryland's Village.
How often did the kids spray paint Judas in your?
Oh
Front
no,
yard.
it wasn't
Front
that. I'll get the occasional finger every now and again.
Yeah.
Like a good thumbs up?
Some of them, some of them will show me their favorite finger purely out of love. Others just won't talk to me at all.
You got a good reception in the hallways as we were walking through the other
Yeah,
day,
that
though.
was
was fun.
That was interesting hearing the kids. Is that Mr. Cross?
A lot of confused looks.
Yeah, they're
What
like,
are you doing here?
right. Of course, then my favorite student sitting here flipping me off saying
Right?
Stuff they said was entertaining.
Oh, that was a fun. That was a fun
Oh,
visit.
that was hilarious.
That was funny.
But so yeah, that definitely has been kind of just the mixed bag. Some of them are super cool, super chill. Will come up, say hi, how are you, stuff like that. Others will just avoid all eye contact.
Was that Judas reference a biblical reference, or was that a Lady Gaga reference?
I mean, take it how you want. I was thinking more biblically speaking.
Okay, Lady Gaga.
I will say,
Lady Gaga.
I don't know about 30 pieces of silver, but I had about 16 pieces of bologna on my front door at one point.
Ooh, I'm in. That'd make a nice sandwich.
Somebody,
A sandwich size of a sandwich at Maryland's Village. Hey, that was good, guys.
Are we getting paid for these plugs?
Well, we better be. I'm going to go shake them down. It's all digital, though.
Oh, dang it.
shout out that olive loaf.
Ooh, it's jalapeno loaf again this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right.
The Chipotle turkey wasn't that bad.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah.
Would you rather fight one Craig Sowers
Ooh.
or one Eric Stockberger?
And remember, I can gain a yard in the NFL.
Yes.
Purely because I know more of Craig Sauer's weaknesses than I know stuff.
That's fair. Here's the thing.
I know we have foot issues.
Can't feel them. I can walk on broken legs, man.
Yeah. Good kick.
Yeah.
Infinitely.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Deal with it.
But I would probably say I would rather fight Craig.
Bring it on.
There you go, Stock. If you end up watching this, you can take pride in the fact that Mike Kross is scared of you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
He's
last-
wily.
And
Wily.
yeah.
There's your $5
He's stringy. I like it. All right. Well,
He's not a small guy though.
no,
I feel
no,
like
he's
he's
Last
a big old
question,
dude.
and arguably most important question here.
Okay.
What do you feel is your legacy here at CHS?
I'll just go back to one of our topics for the day of TR-ATAR. Legitimately, that's probably the one that I get the most is like when I see the kids is some of them will call me a traitor, which is fine.
It just means they care.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
basically.
they're aware of the situation.
They're
yeah.
aware. They're aware that I am no longer here,
Yeah.
and I am now 16 minutes down the road.
Yeah, and that's fine. My uncle's a trader too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
Well, he's
him
kind
every
of-
day.
He was kind of a traitor coming here and then a traitor going
that's
back.
fair. Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's fair. That's where I thought you were going with the grilled cheese because all I thought was my Uncle Dan first.
No,
And then I got the Shane Gillis.
the
Like-
Gillis.
Yeah, he does eat grilled cheese. Like,
Where'd you get that cheese, Daddy?
you some of that cheese? I don't have it. Oh, that's classy.
Not making it at night, Dad.
That is classy.
so,
That's such a great stand-up.
It's so good. Gillis is so funny. Are there any of those that you would like to answer again, Mr. Haig?
no, that's okay.
I will say, all jokes aside,
Yeah.
the whole trader deal. The students that I taught here loved them. Definitely had kids who were on the good side, definitely on the bad side at times. But honestly, I couldn't care. Like in terms of our relationship, if you want to come up, say hi, stuff like that. We're all good.
Yeah.
I have no beef here,
Yeah, especially at ball games.
especially at the ball
Yeah,
games.
because you do come to Fountain Central Covington
I
games.
do come to the Fountain Central Covington games.
Yeah.
And when the Covington kids see me in the Fountain Central gear, they
Yeah.
they get a little fired up. But
Yeah, you were pretty happy at the softball game.
I was very happy about the football game.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did we lose against Fountain Central in softball?
We split.
Split 1-1.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday game, right? Yeah.
But there's going to
We're
be a
playing on
tiebreaker
Wednesdays now.
game for sectionals. First
Yeah.
round of sectionals.
That's
is
exciting.
Covington Central
Did
softball.
Kirkpatrick get hurt for the season?
Yes, she did.
That's
she
a
broke her
bummer.
foot.
That's a bummer. I know she was really passionate
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah, she's going to. I'm gonna mess this up now. I think is it Indiana Tech that's up in Fort Wayne?
I think that's what you said when I
Yeah.
talked to you last time. Yeah,
I think it's Indiana Tech. She's a scholarship
exciting.
athlete up there. So
that's a bummer. Anytime you
Good
get
for her.
hurt, too.
before we go, I would like to make you guys do one more blind rank. Would you
Yeah.
guys rather you want to do one separately or together?
I don't-
If it's a movie one, it's going to be a good
yeah, I
one.
was like, what are we going?
No.
What's
Blind.
our
I'll give you.
subject?
I'll give you
okay.
You got to rank them 1 through 5. I'm going to give them to you one at a time. Once you've ranked it, you can't change
Oh,
it.
blind
Okay.
rank.
Blind ranking.
I never do these well.
I like the blind.
Are we?
ranks.
We'll go
I've
together.
always been good.
We'll go together.
Go together?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's our subject? That's the question.
Your subject is Marvel superheroes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thor
Okay.
number 1.
Okay. Now,
Good thing I would agree.
you guys can decide here. Do you want it to be based on what your favorite is, or do you want it to be based on which one you think would win in a fight?
Just go power rankings.
Ooh.
You want to go power rankings?
We do favorite. Yeah.
You wanna
Favorite or
just
power
do
ranking?
Yeah,
favorite?
we'll do favorite.
Okay.
Just do
We'll do
favorite?
favorite.
Yeah.
Well, then we need to
Sure.
do this separately, surely, right?
No, it's
Probably.
going to be exactly the same.
We'll do separate.
All right, we'll do Marvel for Mr. Sowers over
Yep.
here.
What we got?
Okay. First up,
Yep.
1 through 5.
Oh, man.
Bucky.
Bucky, 5.
5. Okay.
I just
Dang.
not a compelling character to me.
Okay.
He's probably my number 2. I love Bucky.
No, I like Winter Soldier. Are we going by run,
It's the same dude.
Winter Soldier, yeah.
or are we going like White Wolf?
We're just Winter Soldier. We're going MCU.
MCU 5.
5. Okay. Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon is he's a 3.
Okay.
I liked him in the last movie. Compelling storyline.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch is probably a 2. I like the comic version better than the MCU version, but you know,
Hawkeye.
what do I have? 4 left.
4 and 1.
4 and 1.
Yeah. Is that
Going Hawkeye
is that the Haley Steinfeld?
No, the Jeremy Renner.
Oh, still 4.
Still 4. And well done. Number 1.
Yeah.
Thor.
Thor number 1, obviously.
Yeah. Well done.
I mean, if we were going like actual rankings in comics, it's probably Thor and then Colossus and then
Deep cut.
oh man, I really like that old X-Men run, like the Bendis era.
Mhm.
So it's probably just mostly X-Men after
With
that.
the
Yeah, I
blue
mean, you're
and
talking
yellow uniforms.
Cable probably number 3, Bishop probably number 4, and then probably Rogue at 5.
So we got Thor 1,
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch 2,
Yeah,
Rocket Raccoon 3,
I am
Hawkeye 4,
so
Buckeye
happy.
5.
I'm
Give that
so
list.
happy with that list. That's
Okay.
how I would rank them anyway.
See, this is where I'm going to get.
You're
going
gonna fail. You should have gone with me.
A DC
Well,
guy.
You should have
You're-
gone with me.
You're a Star Wars guy, though?
Not. I'd probably be better at DC than Star Wars.
I have to do DC then. You
Ooh.
better at DC than Star Wars? Or would you rather want me to do Harry Potter?
Oh, I could do Potter all day
Okay,
long.
let's do Harry Potter. All right.
Oh man, is this houses or characters?
Characters.
Are we going just by favorites or
Just by favorites.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh man,
this will get
Favorites.
really interesting.
One through
Weasley.
5.
Ron Weasley's your new favorite.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Lucius Malfoy.
Ooh, 4.
4? Is that the guy that was on Legends of Tomorrow or The Flash?
He
No, that's
No.
Draco.
That's Jason
Oh.
Jason Isaac's character.
Jason Isaacs
Okay.
from
Guys, never seen any of the movies, never read any of the books.
oh,
So
from
your opinion will your chime-ins will be great for this.
I was like,
Yes,
Lord-
honestly,
Lord of the Rings, Star Trek,
Hey,
and
the only ones I know are the girl that did Beauty and the Beast and the guy that's going to be in the new Deadpool,
who's
Is it
going to
one-
be in the new Deadpool?
Daniel Radcliffe. He's playing a version of Wolverine.
Well, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
he
This
is?
is why I don't watch trailers.
It's not in the trailers.
Well, then why would you tell me that?
It's
You
just
heard
deep
so
cut. Do you want to know who else is going to play
No,
a
I don't.
variant of Wolverine?
I don't.
Please tell me it's Taron Egerton.
Can you guys just do me a favor and
Did I
continue this
just-
conversation
Did
after
I
I'm
just
done?
totally
upset.
mispronounce
No,
that?
I don't know who that is. So it's not
dude
one of
from,
those.
Kingsman.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Okay.
that. Yeah. No, it's not him.
All right. Well, now that my heart is broken, Hagrid.
Hagrid, solid 2.
Yeah. Hey, this is the Hagrid look.
You're
Okay.
halfway there.
Yeah.
You
Living on a
chopped off your
prayer.
hair.
Severus Snape.
Snape, 3.
Also, what Katie Woodrow used to call me.
This puts me in a very bad spot because I got 1 in 5.
Yeah. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
This will not end well.
Fred Weasley.
Ooh. 1 or 5 for Fred.
Oh man.
I've already
See,
got my 1 in mind, so I won't cheat you.
You already have it.
Yeah, I'll even write it down
Okay.
so you know.
I was like, write it down because I don't want you to rope a dope and sit here and I put him at 1.
the
and you give
worst.
me- Yeah.
And just give you.
The Sorting Hat.
Because I'm scared about who's gonna come last. I'm
Oh, don't use your one.
gonna
That's
go
rough.
1 with Fred.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I do love the Weasley twins.
That's a tragic.
They're fantastic.
That's
and
strange.
number 5, Mad Eye Moody.
Oh, number 5.
Okay.
That's fine.
Good enough.
I'm good with that. I like Mad Eye, but I also think it's super weird that, like, the movie you get the most of Mad Eye, he's not really Mad Eye movie.
Yeah, it's weird. You're right.
I have no idea what that means.
You wouldn't, yeah.
Is that like
Okay.
Tom Bombadil? No. Okay.
That's a
I
deep
get that,
cut. I
though,
don't
but-
know.
You get
I
that?
get it, but no.
No. Okay.
He's used properly. He's just not. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Unlike Tom Bombadil.
Fair enough.
All right, well,
Who knows? Oh,
thanks, Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
You're so bummed out about that.
I mean, it's a rumor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
fine.
if it's
No,
true.
fine. It's okay.
I love it. Okay, now spoilers, guys. Here's everything that's going to happen in the Deadpool Wolverine movie,
Freaking-
according to the leaks. Are you ready?
I freaking hate this podcast.
No, I wouldn't ruin it. I wouldn't ruin it like I wouldn't ruin Inside Out 2 for you.
She dies.
Straight for the jugular.
If there's no funeral, she's not dead.
I've not seen either.
No, it didn't come out till June something. Kung Fu Panda's out now, though.
Wasn't a super big fan of the first one, so
Of Inside Out? You know that came out
It was-
9
it
years
was
ago?
fine.
Really?
It's fine.
9 years ago. Broccoli
The,
pizza.
The the gut
Yeah,
wrenching
isn't that crazy?
the gut wrenching scene with Bing Bong was probably
Oh, Richard Kine's character?
Oh yeah.
I do love Richard Kine. He's fantastic in everything he's in.
I know it's been out 9 years, but can we not spoil Inside Out for me?
First off, not even a spoiler.
Yeah. It's he's imaginary.
How long is long enough before, like, I feel like you can start spoiling Game of Thrones stuff. It's been over long.
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
Like, or,
Oh,
like,
wait,
like-
yeah.
Well, how long do you wait?
I think as soon as let's see,
Do
when
you
would
want
the secondhand market be
do
watching
you want
this
a
thing?
ton of views on this podcast?
Right.
I will
All right.
ruin Game of Thrones for
All right.
everybody.
Here is everything that's happened in every sci-fi show for the last 15 years. I don't know. Like you'd figure not just the primary market, but you want the secondary market. So whenever the DVD sets
I'd
come out
say
and they're
5
out for like a
years.
month,
It's got to be.
it's
5
got to be
years.
quick.
Yeah.
No, I say quicker than that. I say when the DVDs come out
You think
or
you-
whatever release media you have, a month after that.
My wife thinks I'm a psychopath because I will
Well-
sit here and actively look up the spoilers for everything before I pay to go see it.
Oh, that's rough. Well, I mean,
Because I'm not about to pay for something.
I
I'm
did-
not going to have
hey.
a good time.
I did the same thing with Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I didn't want any spoilers. Had I known that,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, had I known that the Scarecrow was going to be naked in it, I probably wouldn't have seen.
I would have only seen it once.
I would have only rented it 4 or 5 more times. Oh my goodness! All right, we're wrapping it up. You guys have anything you want to say before we head out of here? Yeah, yay, nay.
No.
Anything coming up? End of the year's coming up. Graduation is on the 25th, 24th for you guys, 25th for us.
Yeah, ours is Friday.
Coming to it.
If you're looking to crash weddings, Mr. Haig's getting married on July 27th.
Yes, July 27th. Mark
Yeah.
it in your
I'm
calendars.
very happy about it.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Blink twice if you're trapped.
We're so excited.
No, Julie's awesome.
It's great. She's great. It's going to be great.
It's
It
good.
is. It's going to be a good time. Does Halen know that he's going to be officiating?
I figured I would pull a Halen and wait till about a month before the wedding. So,
Yeah. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. Get ready. Prepare
right.
now. Well, we wish you good luck finishing your year at Fountain Central.
Thank you.
As long as you wish us good luck finishing our year here at Covington.
I will.
It always gets really hectic here at the end of the school year. Basically, hang on to your seat and hope you can survive.
I'll wish you both
Strap
good
in.
luck
Well, thank you.
and leave you with a Go Mustangs.
Oh, that's gross. I feel dirty now. Now, before I sleep in my recliner, I'm going to have to take a shower. All right. We'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Probably a couple more before we end the school year. Take care.